But that is not all so bad. Okay, how we doing? I see Twitter is down. Is Twitter down for anybody right now? Because I'm having a tough time loading anything, or or getting my messages to work. What's up, everybody? Good morning. How we doing? It is Wednesday, July 2nd. I don't know why I thought it was almost Tuesday. Oh, maybe because it's the second day of the month. No steak today. No steak. Well, I won't get balls deep into it. I see we're kind of just getting notified here. I got the notification on Discord, on Twitch, just coming in through my phone. Oh, I think we're good. What's up? Baseball 3415, first time chatter. What's up? Welcome. Hutch Bets with a subscription, 21 months. Almost 2 years. Yeah, Twitter's down. Okay. Jay's on America Junior Day, of course. America Junior Day. Oh, is that a Canada joke? Got it. America Junior. I understand now. What's up, Artie Bart in the YouTube lobby, nice and early. Total Slayer says, Kevin, you first round leader. You know, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I'm not anti Kevin Yu. Damn, my forehead is like extra large today. I'm not anti Kevin Yu, but I got BK's card up from Sports Illustrated that he puts in, and I don't like it. I don't like BK's card. I don't like it one bit. Did anybody listen to BK? Shout out BK, by the way. He's got the day off today. We've got a special guest joining us. Not that BK isn't special. He's special. But we got CutMaker Jeff. I believe he goes by CutMaker Jeff. Jeff Seeley will be joining the show. Longtime golf handicapper, I believe. I've been listening to him coming on VSiN now for probably, I don't know, 7-8 years. So maybe, I mean, I've been a VSiN listener for about 8 years, but I think he's probably come on from the start. If not, it's probably around that time. But sharp dude, smart guy. Seems like a good dude. And he also is a big, I think he's Indiana fan. So obviously with the Pacers or whatnot. But I saw he commented on my my retweet of Sophie Cunningham and said no Sophie Cunningham slander. So I am curious to hear what he has to say about that, because I didn't like what she had to say about Detroit and Cleveland. And I haven't been to Cleveland, so I can't really speak for Cleveland. Steak likes Cleveland. He said it was low key one of his favorite cities to visit for the NFL draft. I think Detroit is great, and I just don't know that I understand that type of reaction to word that the WNBA is expanding. So I'm just curious. I'd like to know: am I off on this? Because I don't want to be one of those guys that like hates and shits on the WNBA. I'm really not. I've told you I'm not a big basketball guy in general, but I've watched the women's Final Four. I've watched the Elite Eight. I've watched WNBA before. I think I've bet on it like 3 times. It's good. You know, I like Caitlin Clark, obviously, who doesn't? But and I like the beef with Angel Reese. I think it makes for good talking points and interest and attention. But I just don't understand if you're having a conversation. It kind of reminds me of when they were like, hey, LeBron, we're trying to get basketball going through COVID. They're going to play games, but with nobody in the stands. And he's like, I'm not playing games with nobody in the stands. Like, I play for the fans. I've never played for the game with no fans before. It's like, well, yeah, obviously, you fucking idiot. But anyways, I just don't understand if your league's going to expand, but you're like, oh, well, they should put a team in Miami and Nashville, not Detroit and Cleveland. It's like, what are we going to get picky? Are we going to get picky and choosy? How about we just expand first? And like, will Detroit and Cleveland not welcome? Will they not welcome the sport? I mean, look at Oklahoma City. You know, I don't understand that. Look at Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City's got great fucking fans. What the fuck does Oklahoma City have? You don't have a beach there. You know, what does Oklahoma City have? I've never been. But I mean, could you imagine? You know, I see all the fans. You see the Aaron Wiggins and everybody on the championship stage applauding the fans, talking about how great they are. I mean, what the fuck? I just don't know that I understand it. Like, the WNBA is just doing themselves no favors. I think I'm a good example of somebody that's like not super, I'm not anti WNBA, but I'm not like super into it because I'm just not, I'm like the most casual basketball guy. Like, it's not really my favorite sport anymore. I hate the way it's over officiated. Like, I'm not all, I'm not super into the majority of the players, but I like some. You know, I still like watch. I love going live. What's up, BK? Detroit used to have the Shock, who were really good before they got moved to another city. Yep. Yeah, I like, look, people coming at her and saying she's racist. I think that's extreme and stupid. Like, I clearly understand. Like, I get what she's saying. It's like, if you're if you're a WNBA player and there's going to be more teams, oh, if you are a player, what city would you like to play in? I understand the sentiment of clearly you have a ranking of cities you'd probably like to live in. Everybody does, right? So the consensus would be the city of Miami and Nashville would probably be high on people's list of cities to live in. And they'd probably be higher than Cleveland and Detroit. I understand that. But like, you're trying to get your league off the ground. It's losing money every year. You're trying to get it going. I don't think you're in a state to get there. You're not in a position to get picky and choosy just yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I don't really understand. There was just a really, really weird response. And that's why I compared it to the LeBron response in the COVID era. That was just a weird response. It's like, bro, you're trying to play basketball through a fucking pandemic. Like, these are weird, unprecedented times. You'd be like, I'm not playing in front of no fan. What the fuck? And like this, Sophie Cunningham, you want to expand the WNBA. These are the cities. It's like, yeah, but Detroit and Cleveland, ew. I don't like that. If it's racist, think Detroit is a shithole, then call me Antonio Brown. Yeah, I mean, look, if you think Detroit and Cleveland are shithole cities, that's your opinion. Again, I've only visited Detroit twice. My wife and I went there on a whim. We were just like, we want to go check out a new city. We never been to Detroit. And we went in like fucking November. The flights were like $150 round trip. It was great. We didn't have fucking money at the time, too. It was a long time ago. It was probably like 2014 or 15. An actual blizzard hit the city. We had to change our flight. We escaped. There was like 6 inches of snow. I actually flew through a snowstorm, which was crazy. I was actually terrified. The plane got de-iced and everything like that. I had to get de-iced twice. It was a pretty smooth flight. Also, now that I remember it, but we had a great time. We liked Detroit. It was very cool. Braun is to DJ and Aaron Judge is to Krabs. No, it's a little bit different because I've said this. Like I think Krabs criticizes Aaron Judge's actual talent. I know LeBron James is one of, if not the best NBA players of all time. I know that. I will admit that. I just think like there's just so many things he does that rubs me the wrong way, and I'm just like, oh, he's such a fucking dork. Anyways, Brian Kirshner, wow, that is dark. Glad you made it out of there alive. What happened? What's BK saying? When it comes to year-round weather, I understand. Sure. What's BK saying? Let's go. What's up, BK? Good to see you. By the way, we are going to be be doing Picket Happy Hour tomorrow. I'm very much looking forward to it with BK and Kyle. I don't know why I say Kyle like that. Maybe it's because I got a redneck cousin, Crocodile Kyle. Or maybe it's South Park. I don't know. But anyways, Kyle's going to be joining. Kyle, Kyle. He filled in for BK. He did a phenomenal job. I'm going to be with Kyle and BK. We're going to get beers and we're going to talk golf. Okay. Hopefully, we'll have some things to talk about after the first round of the John Deere Classic. BK's not really into this tournament. I like it. And again, I tweeted it this morning. Every time the John Deere Classic is around the corner, I am reminded that John Deere Green is such a good song. Shout out Joe Diffie. Great song. Banger. Need BDK to confirm if it was Legends or not. What are we talking about? Had two of the three last three winners here. No shit. BK, take a bow. By the way, can you guys all go can you go check out BK's where is it? Can you go check out BK's video? This is great stuff right here. Can you guys go check this out? Go check this out while you're at it. BK did a little content. I tell him all the time he should do content. He doesn't fucking listen. He doesn't listen. But once what's his face? Patrick Reed gets a sugary drink.
So ice, but no water and no inclusion.
I don't understand. Wait. I don't understand that. No inclusions? Is that what you have to do? I don't go to Starbucks. I don't like when BK and DGen fight. We don't fight. We don't bite. We don't fight. We spat. If you only fight with somebody if you care, right? Like you and your partner, your life partner, your significant other, you're always going to fight. It's a funny order. Yeah, but do you have to say that? I don't know why are we making Patrick Reed likable? Is this the new thing? Is this what we're doing? I'm not saying I hate the guy, but like, isn't he a prick? Nobody likes Patrick Reed. We're starting to like Patrick Reed now. If that's what we're doing, fine. I just want to make sure that I got the memo and I'm not the same page. No, I didn't. That's the thing. I guess I didn't watch the Reed video. Let me watch this fucking video.
Now we need a little caffeine. Perfect. We get 2 Trenta strawberry refreshers, no water, no inclusions. Yes, sir. That's it. Thanks, bud. Thank you. Now we're ready to roll. There we go.
That's disgusting.
Now we need a little caffeine.
That's disgusting. Song 2017, yeah. Like father and son, yeah. Well, I just watched the Patrick Reed video. So this is what it takes. This is what it takes to get BK off his ass and do some content. It takes Patrick Reed to go get a fucking sugary drink, and that's what he wants. Yep. Where's the guest? Guest coming on at 10:30. Yep. So is that just strawberry syrup? Yeah, it's all it is. It's all it is. And BK's over here bitching. He's like, oh, it's really sugary. It's really sweet. What did you expect? It's Starbucks. That's all Starbucks is nowadays. I don't know that it was. We have 12 more minutes. Yeah, we have 12 more minutes. What are you doing in Twitch, by the way? I thought you were a YouTube guy. Anyways, what happened to black coffee and cigarettes, guys? Now it's strawberries, refreshers, and vapes. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even a tough guy, but like I hate it. I hate it. It is what it is. I hate it. I kind of have a little bit of a confession. Maybe you can judge me a little bit. So I'm I like iced coffee. Every now and then I always like to get a splash of cream or milk, shout out whole milk, in my coffee. I do admit I do that. But I hate the baristas. Before COVID, you'd have it outside of on the other side of the coffee counter, so you can control how much you put in. But once COVID hit, they took those away, and like the baristas do it. Every time you ask for a splash of something, they dunk it. They put a fucking, what's the word? Dollop. They put a lot in there, and then it comes out like white. It's way too creamy. It's way too milky. I don't want that. I've tried every variation of the word splash. I'll say drop. Dollop, good word. Thank you. Yep. I'll say like a liter. I just want the tiniest amount of cream possible. And it's little gong, 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 gong. I'm like, stop. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like I get iced coffee and I have a sleeve, or I prefer a sleeve because my hand gets cold. Do you guys judge me on that? Try using a smidge. Dude, I think I've said smidge before. I really think I've done everything, but I will say, I have said I would like the tiniest amount possible of milk in the coffee, please. And it's still a lot. My tax dollars are going towards Chew buying Saratoga water. Smidge's Classic. Yeah, that's a good one. But anyways, I use a sleeve when I get iced coffee. I don't know if anybody judges me because of that, because your hand gets cold. You know what I mean? But BK, good content. Keep it up. We love the content. I'll see you tomorrow for drinks for happy hour. And then tomorrow is the last stream of the week. We're off to we're going out east, as the New Yorkers say. We're going out east. I don't have anything out east, but a friend does. We rented a house, so I'll go there for a couple days. Petite Pour. Sounds like you're not making direct eye contact when you say it. Yeah. Had your back on the Twitter machine this morning. Nerfy Chad, always appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, look, just want to be perfectly clear. I understand. I think some people have the misunderstanding of my content, who I am as a sports bettor. And I don't want to be the village idiot, but I am who I am. Like I want to make smart reads and good plays, and I've done that many times. I've also made really bad bets many times. But yesterday, when I placed that wager for the most wins in the month of July, I was working and I was very busy. And I said, "Oh fuck, I got to get this in because there's a game starting at 3:00. What's up, Gabe?" And I figured when the game starts at 3:00, they might all get taken down. I did. Weston told me to download Caesars. I downloaded Caesars. I went into Caesars because I didn't think this market was available in New York. Okay, this is exactly what happened. I went into Caesars. I could not find it. I looked. I thought I looked on everything that I could where it was like something monthly. There's daily specials and there's season specials. Why would I think that a season special is the tab that would have the most wins in the month of July? The season special should be like 90 plus wins, 100 plus RBIs, something that's over the course of the season. I just didn't, it was confusing to me. So then somebody in here told me, I forget who it was, they said, as of 20 minutes ago, DraftKings has this market up. I said, great. So I went to DraftKings. What does DraftKings has? DraftKings has July specials. Doesn't that make all the sense in the world? Monthly specials, July specials, July specials. So I went down there and I went to most wins. I started thinking about it. I had a few teams in my head. I had the Mariners, I had the Orioles, and I had the Diamondbacks. And I said at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? The Diamondbacks are a fucking scrappy team. And I looked at their schedule. I looked at the Mariners schedule. I wrote off the Orioles because fuck the Orioles. I looked at the Mariners schedule. I looked at the Diamondback schedule and I said, you know what? The Diamondback schedule, not the strongest thing I've seen in an entire month. They play like the Pirates. The Marlins are getting hot. They play the A's. They play a couple other teams that don't really scare me. So I was like, okay, let's go place this bet. DraftKings was 16-1. And of course I posted, and then I got absolutely roasted because Cornfields was right there. And he said, this is available on Caesars at 60-1. I thought I looked, I didn't see it. He told me it was under season specials. I said, that's very confusing. So I went back to season specials. I placed the bet at it had then moved from 60 to 50-1. So I placed the bet at 50-1. So I got the bet at 50-1. So thank you very much. See, I'm not a stubborn asshole. And I'm not intentionally trying to get bad numbers. There's nothing cool about that. If there's a 50-1 available, obviously I want that over the 16-1. So yeah, look, I'm whatever you want to call me, stupid, lazy, whatever, for not being able to find that. That's okay. But I still just think that it's so obvious to me that if DraftKings clearly on a tab says July specials or monthly specials, why wouldn't another sports book do the same thing? That makes so much sense. You know, season specials, that's not where you find things for 1 month. So anyways, Corn just got to chill, little man. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. I understand he's coming from a good place. I really do. But you know, not everybody's the same. Okay. We're hardwired differently. That's okay. Caesars is named after Julius Caesar, which what July is named after. Romans added 2 new months, July and August, Julius and August Caesar, which is why October is named for the 8th month. And is now the 10th. Oct is 8 and is now the 10th month. Snowman, is that real? You absolutely need to go on Jeopardy. And I really do think Stump the Snowman would be a fantastic segment on the stream that we're going to start doing when Steak is back next week. Thoughts on the amendment to the bill about taxes on gambling? Yeah, I saw a lot of so Caesar's just not acknowledging the fake month. That's funny. Listen, I saw a lot of people talking about this. I saw a guy out there put a video breaking it down. This is not really my area of expertise. I mean, I'm one of those people that just kind of, they got us by the balls. Like, what are we going to do? You know, do I like it? No, of course not. I don't like it. You're going to be taxed on your wins and taxed on your losses. It's not great. But I think that, listen, again, I understand who I am. And I understand, I think, so again, there's some people who follow me that just have the wrong understanding of who I am as a sports bettor, as a person, and what my content is. I don't think that I'm the type of guy to be breaking down the taxes of gambling wins and losses, because I defer to the much smarter people on that app and that platform. But there was a guy out there, I think his name was Paul something. He did a full-on video breakdown of it. It's like 4 minutes, maybe it's a little longer than that. It's very good. And I don't know what we can do about it. Like, they got us by the balls. It is what it is. I'm not going to stop betting on sports, but I also don't bet a significant amount of money to where it's probably going to impact someone like me. But if you're a serious sports bettor, which there are many of, yeah, that fucking sucks. So not great. That's all I got for it. Stump the Snowman will be the most elite content. Yep. Bookies are so back. Got to hit up my guy in Jersey. Anyways, I'm listening. This could be the case. What's up, Scotterbrain? How's it going? Did y'all know the snowman was named after the snowman? Yep, probably. Anyways, BK, I hope you're still listening. Kyle, I hope you're still listening. We are going to get to the golf tournament this weekend. Hold on 1 second. Let me just get to my Corp text. We're going to get to the golf tournament this weekend. We have the John Deere Classic, and we do have a special guest, as I mentioned. I got CutMaker Jeff coming on and joining the show, which is very much appreciated. And so we're going to dive right in. So I need everybody's focus and attention to go to John Deere. But before we do, let's see. It's going to still affect you, DJ. It's going to kill the industry as a whole. Interesting. I don't know if that's being dramatic or not, but I mean, I guess we'll wait and see what happens. Unless it still can get overturned. I have no idea if it's too late. DJ, good shit to start out. Good to see you. Likewise. Thank you, Scatterbrain. Appreciate it. Listen, we've had a couple successful golf weekends. Myself for the past 2-3 weeks now. JJ Spawn, first round leader in outright live. I'm not touting a 4-1 on JJ Spawn when he was a fucking 120 to 150 to 1. I just want to make that very clear. But I've adjusted because I've been so bad at picking people before the tournament starts, and it's no fun for me to not have somebody to fucking sweat on the weekend, or if they make it in the weekend, they're T56. So I've adapted a little bit. All right. And then Keegan was awesome. Keegan beating out Tommy Fleetwood. You hate to see that happen. And then last week I went single bullet, and I got accused for going doing engagement farming, for going single bullet on Matt Fitzpatrick. Fuck off, because I think he finished. Well, he didn't. He was a 4-back, 5-back maybe, but he finished top 20. That was my 2-unit play plus 185. He did not win outright. He was not first round leader. I jumped on Thorpe Bjornsson because BK told me to, and then I also tailed BK on Lee Hodges live, which was a shit wager. But I got to say, just overall, golf has been a lot of fun. It's been some great entertainment, great tournaments, great endings, and shout out to anybody who had Eldrick Pike Eater. So, anyways, we're going to turn our attention. I want to just get everybody's brain on golf. Good to be Canadian. No taxes on gambling. It's going to be voted on today. Got it. Okay, let's table the tax talk. Let's get CutMaker Jeff up here. Jeff, are you ready to roll? Awesome. All right. Awesome. Jeff, thank you very much for joining us. And I don't know if you heard the beginning of the stream, but I was talking a little bit about your Indiana Fever player, Sophie Cunningham's take on the additions with the new cities. Not that I necessarily know that I care to go in depth on that too much, but I wanted to ask just to get people familiar with you. Aside from golf, are you an Indiana native, and are you a passionate like Pacers, Colts fan, etc.? Like, is that where your sports fandom lies?
So yeah, so I grew up in St. Louis, so I'm a Cardinals fan, but I have lived in Indiana for 25 years.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm a Hoosier at this point. I've had Colt season tickets, Pacers season tickets, and I'm a huge bettor. Obviously, I made a big bet, and I'll tell you a quick story.
Sure.
So I made a bet, $500 before the Knicks Pacers series. $500. I parlayed the Pacers to beat the Knicks and the Fever to win the WNBA championship at 10-1. Okay. So now I have the Fever win the NBA championship, and I parlayed with a bunch of other stuff. I have a ton of open parlays where the last leg is the Fever to win the WNBA championship. And it's like 44 grand I win if they win. But I was telling a friend of mine about this who's a huge bettor, and I made this bet, blah, 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 blah. To make a really long story short, we got down $100,000 on the Knicks, on Pacers to beat the Knicks, Fever parlay. He gave me a 10% free roll for getting it down. So now if the Fever win the WNBA championship, I win $144,000 and my buddy wins $900,000. So we are massive Fever fans here in Noblesville, Indiana. It's a thing. So yeah, and plus, like, the cool thing about like Sophie Cunningham, how many hot WNBA players are there, right? There's like 3, maybe, right? She's one of the 3.
She's one of them.
So it's like, yeah. So she's kind of a badass. She grew up in Columbia, Missouri, where I went to school. So I'm a huge Sophie Cunningham. She could talk shit about whatever city she wants. I don't care. I love Sophie Cunningham. So yeah,
fair enough. I liked how she got Caitlin Clark's back when they were playing that team, and they like shoved her down, and then Sophie had a hard foul on somebody. That was pretty cool. But hold on, I want to talk about this ticket. Is this something that you can push on Twitter and get some? I mean, I'm assuming you saw that guy who had the fucking Thunder and the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. In this case, I had to bet it through a local.
Got it.
Sold off a bunch of pieces. I trust me. Like I called Circa. I called everybody. Like, who would take 100K? Like, we'll take 5. We'll take 10. So I got one guy who took the full 100 to win $1 million, and he sold off a bunch of pieces. So we had to do it through a local. So I'm a little hesitant to push it on Twitter because of that.
Sure.
But I promise you, if the Fever make the WNBA finals, I will be courtside. There is a 100% chance I'll be courtside.
Is there do they have are they huge long shots? I don't follow.
No, they're like the 3rd favorite.
Oh, so this is live.
This is very live. And they just beat the Minnesota Lynx last night when they beat them without Caitlin Clark. And then Minnesota Lynx is the #1 team in the WNBA right now.
Oh, they won the Commissioner's Cup or something,
yes,
right?
Yes. and they won it without Caitlin Clark.
Wow. Okay, so they got
they're extremely live. It's going to be so yeah. It's going to be a fun ticket to sweat through the fall and so yeah. I've turned a lot of my friends into Fever fans randomly. Like
Love
a buddy of mine owns a bar in St. Louis. Like this is a Fever bar now. People are coming in like, why do you have the WNBA? I was like, dude, don't you know about the bets? Like we got to bet the Fever.
We got to talk to you a second about, you said you're a Hoosier. Are you actually an Indiana football fan now? Because if so, I have a question about that.
So it's funny. So living in Indiana, not growing up here, I hate Indiana basketball, IU basketball, but I pull for IU football because they're underdogs. The average Indiana basketball fan has such a false sense of where Indiana basketball is in the pantheon of the universe. They're like, oh, Brad Stevens is going to come here. Oh, so-and-so is going to come. Oh, who wouldn't want to coach you? Oh, yeah. So it's hilarious. So I do not like Indiana basketball, but I definitely cheer for Indiana football because they're a huge underdog, right? They're a great story. Signetti, I mean, Coach Sig is as cool a name as you can have.
Sure.
They started calling the stadium the Ashtray for a while. I mean, that is it's they need to make the field gray like they did. I forget, like Eastern Michigan has, right? I mean, it's a thing.
Yeah, we had a so when we talk, I mean, we do all sports. It sounds like you do all sports as well, but we were doing our college football preview, and my buddy who's usually on here, my co-host Jake, we call him Steak, but we were going through teams, and we were talking about how Signetti came over and brought all his badasses with him and had a ton of success. I forget where he was, Liberty.
He was at James Madison.
James Madison, that's what it was.
Yeah,
and he was like, why can't Indiana win over 5.5 games? And we looked at their schedule, and we were like, yeah, you know what? That actually probably can happen. And they were like the first future to hit because they obviously they started like 7-0 or 8-0. And so we have a guy in here, Snowman, who's a Hoosier alum. And so, but he's exactly what you just said. Very delusional when it comes to Indiana basketball. Took him as a long shot to win the Big Ten tournament. But anyways, we're pro Indiana, at least football, because of the Hoosiers treated us well last year. So, all right. So just so I don't know if my following, my audience is familiar with you mainly as a golf bettor. I was introduced to you from VSiN. I have been listening to VSiN for a very long time. I mean, I think maybe 8 years. I don't know how long they've been around. I can't quite remember how long you've been going on, but
11 years. Can you believe that?
No, I can't. That's a very long time. Okay, so you've been going on VSiN for 11 years. I think you mostly have a spot with Mitch and Paulie on Follow the Money. So they were in the morning slot, 7 to 10 Eastern. Now they're 4 to 7. Some of their guests have fallen off, like Nigel Seeley. I think Nigel Seeley, the soccer guy, but you still go on. And I'm just curious before we start talking John Deere and everything. How long have you been betting in golf, and how did you become like the golf guy for VSiN, which is kind of how I view you?
So I'll tell you a funny story. So I consider myself like one of the OGs of like gambling Twitter. I got on gambling Twitter like way back in the day, like probably like 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
And so originally I had a job that took me around the MAC a lot. So I live in Indiana, right? But I had a job that was in Ohio and small towns in Ohio, Southern Michigan, and so on. And I started betting MAC football. And what I figured out is if you donate like $1,000 to a MAC football program, like you can do whatever you want. So I would donate like $1,000 to Bowling Green and be like, I want to have lunch with a coach. Great. Coach will email you, blah, 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 blah. I started hitting up players on Twitter of these various teams. And I crushed MAC football. I was winning like 65% in MAC football. And that's how I really build momentum on Twitter. I was just Dree Archer. You remember who Dree Archer is by any chance?
Archer?
Dree Archer. He set the record for the 40 at the combine, broke Chris Johnson's 40 record. He was at Kent State. I have a signed jersey from him for my kids when he ended up drafted by the Steelers. Long story short,
legend.
I was crushing MAC football. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't traveling enough. I switched jobs and I didn't have the time to commit to the MAC. And I started looking at, trying to do other sports, thinking about a lot of other sports. And the beauty of golf is I play golf. I live on a golf course. But the beauty of golf is there's so much data. And I really think from a true ROI perspective that golf betting is I think the easiest sport to beat, air quotes, long term, because you hit a 40-1, you hit a 50-1. Not only that, but the personal satisfaction of having a 40-1 and cashing it in 4 days versus waiting an entire season, right? Or whatever the case may be. You can do matchups. There's so many ways you can bet golf, and you can find angles in golf. I had one for Rocket Mortgage. I found it was going to be lift, clean, in place. I bet every single golfer under 68.5 on the first round. Went 12-3. So there's like little angles like that you can find in golf. So I really got into golf, started building my own models early, and now there's so much software out there. Anybody can build a model. So I've done that, and the beauty of it is that I've been doing it for so long that I have retrospective models that I built for prior years. I can see what worked, what didn't. I change my models as time goes on. So the more they've played at a course, the better I think I do. Certainly, if we're going to a new course, there's no data.
Right.
It's kind of a crapshoot sometimes, right? But
right.
like the John Deere Classic is a good example. It's going to be a shootout. But I've got 5 years worth of models I've done for this thing, 6 years of models I've done for this. So I know, okay, I've tweaked this, changed this, and I got a pretty good idea of who's going to be successful and who's not at this kind of track. So that's how I got into it. Love it. And, but I still love MACtion too. Who doesn't love MACtion?
Yeah, that's great. That's an awesome story. So, okay. So your golf betting, you're in terms of like how you do it, it sounds like you're clearly much smarter than myself, and maybe, no offense to the chat, but half of us that are in here and that talk about and bet golf, because you're using actual models and data and software and everything. I think you heard me talking about whether it was on my stream or on Sammy P, but it's been a pretty good year for the model better, because we've seen, you call them community caches and everything. We've seen these play out where it's like, okay, these strengths of a certain golfer are going to do really well on this course. It's a perfect fit. But I'm curious, in your capping style, is there anything that you prioritize? Like you just talked about how the 5 years of the John Deere Classic, and you have data from that. But what about like a certain golfer's recent performance outside of just this type of golf course, but like how they've been playing the past 4 or 5 weeks, or is it weather? Yeah. Like, is there anything you particularly prioritize when you don't have to give me the secret sauce to your model?
No.
Like top things you look for.
Yeah. So great question. And short answer is current form matters a lot.
Okay.
Current form matters a ton. And the guy in the chat asked at Pebblebrook. No, I live close to Pebblebrook though. My kids play golf there. The short answer is no, is it just depends, right? So, but current form matters a ton. So the first thing I look at is current form. But by current form, I'll take like their last 10 tournaments, right? Okay. And if you got a guy who is, has just been asked for 10 straight tournaments, you're like, okay, this is not, no matter what he's done here. And there's some guys who will just pop. They're called course horses. You've heard the term course horses, right? There's some course horses that'll just, no matter what his form is, he'll show up and play well there. But no, I absolutely look at current form, and I look at course form, right? Because it's like you look at current form and course form first and foremost. Hey, this guy is running hot, but he's been terrible here the 7 times he's played. He's missed the cut. And it's not only that, but if you play golf at all, anybody who's played golf, for whatever reason, some people just play well at certain courses and struggle at certain courses. It's just, it's a thing. So yeah, I think those are the first 2 things I look at, are current form and course form, before even running any models. And then you run the model, and then you look at course form, and then you add it all together. A plus B equals C. Yeah, this guy's a great fit, right? Or whatever the case may be.
So one more question, then I want to get into John Deere Classic. But so I've been betting golf, I would say just before like everything shut down with COVID. So like 2017, 2018, I started to really get into it. I had like the most beginner's luck you could possibly imagine. I mean, I was just watching dudes walk on the course. Back then, Dustin Johnson was like the fucking guy. Brooks Koepka started to be awesome. And I've gone to a decent amount of tournaments, and like I've started to fall in love. I've never been the biggest golfer, play a handful of times a year. I'm not very good, but like I've always respected the sport and the skill that it takes to play it. But I started going to golf tournaments live, and I was like, this sport kicks ass as a sports bettor. I call it like the stock market for sports bettors, because Thursday to Sunday, you've got your players that you invest in. You're watching your position improve or start to, fade. And
you can hedge.
You can hedge. It's not even about the guy that you bet on. You want the other guys around him. If somebody fucking ahead of him is double bogeys, that's great, despite what your golfer's doing, even if it's just parring out. But anyways, I started to fall in love with this. And fast forward now, year 6 or 7 of betting golf. I have my list of guys who I just, and this changes, it fluctuates. I love them as golfers, and I feel like I just bet them because it's like, all right, this guy's gonna, I see it in him. He's gonna eventually win. I'm gonna keep betting him. And then sometimes I do break and I don't, and I'm not there when they win, and I have a lot of FOMO. Or I have allegiances to where I tell myself, I'm fucking done with this guy. Like I've said with Colin Morikawa for the past 2 years. But I feel like there's a lot of people who don't care. There's no emotion. They take the emotion out of it and they just look at the numbers. But I know that you're a Ludwig guy. I know you're a Brooks guy in majors just from listening to you. But do you have like your guys, not that you're so much into, but do you have, we call them gutless losers. Shout out BK for coining this term. Do you have a gutless loser list of guys that you just, no matter what, you won't bet them because they don't win? Like a Tommy Fleetwood or something.
Morikawa is one of them.
Okay.
I do not bet Morikawa.
So regardless, no matter how he grades out, you're not betting Morikawa.
I honestly cannot remember betting Colin. I bet Colin Morikawa twice in my life.
Wow.
And I mean, I say never. I very seldom bet Spieth.
Okay, that's an interesting one.
You know, I used to not bet Xander until he won. Now I've got on that train. But I mean, God, I can't tell you. You again, if you listen to VC, you know, I can't tell you how much money Koepka's cost me lately. but I've won over $100,000 in my life on Koepka. And I'll tell you, you know, it's funny. And I'll tell you that story real quick. Is you know, the reason I got on Koepka is, and this is 12 years ago when I started. I started looking at him, and he led the PGA Tour in eagles one year. And I'm just like, wow, okay, this guy led the tour. There's something to this guy.
This was before he started becoming a popular name?
Correct. And so I started betting him then every week. And I'll never forget, I was in Detroit. And the year in 2017, when he won the US Open for his first US Open, Aaron Hills, 2018, when he won the first US Open at Aaron Hills. And I had a $500 ticket at 40 to 1 on Brooks Koepka. And I bet him in these, and he, sure enough, he won. And then I would keep betting him. And then every time he won, I would have Koepka Palooza at my house, where I would get 2 kegs of Mick Ultra, because he was a Mick Ultra guy at the time, and like $2,000 worth of Chick-fil-A, and I'd have 100 golf carts in my yard. But so the net of it is, I have so much. I've sworn off betting Koepka in majors, and then he'll like birdie 2 holes, and I'll scramble and get a live bet in, and I'll get a terrible number, and I can't help myself. So yeah, I mean, I definitely, Morikawa's a guy I never bet. Fleetwood, I've made the mistake of betting a few times, and that's just heartbreaking because he shits down his leg every time. I'm trying to think. There's not a ton of guys who I purely fade now anymore. Like I purely fade DJ because he does not care. So you playing in a major, DJ's in a match. Although I did bet DJ over Koepka in the PGA Championship, and that didn't work out for me. But yeah, it's one of those things. So no, I guess Morikawa is one of the main guys I would say that I fade, that I just flat out don't bet.
I respect the shit out of that because I fell in love with the guy after he won the British Open or whatever it was. I think I hit him like 30 to 1. I thought I was brilliant. I was like, I thought I discovered Colin Morikawa, but then I listened to everybody else and they're like, oh, this guy could go on a Tiger-like run. And I just kept believing in it. I gave all my units back that I won on him. And then I made a fucking TikTok video of how everybody should stop betting on him, but I still get sucked into betting him every now and then because once he hits a pure iron and stuffs it and it finally makes an 8-foot putt, I'm like, okay, Colin Morikawa's back. And then I hate him again. So much respect to that. Okay. So John Deere Classic. I don't really understand in the golf world, like where this tournament lies. I guess it's not anything that people get too excited about, but I mean, I feel like I'm at least seeing a lot of buzz on Twitter in the gambling world. Like people seem excited to bet it. So I know it's like kind of cooling off in the golf season, I guess, in terms of excitement. We got the Ryder Cup coming down the road. There's no more signature events, I think I was told, but I don't know, where do you stand on the John Deere Classic? Do you like betting this tournament? Have you had success betting this tournament?
The only reason I've had success in it, I won when Sepp Straka won a few years ago. I'm a Sepp Straka stan. He's another one of the guys who I can't quit betting. I bet him all the time. So I have had some success there. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a slow time of year, right? And so you got Wimbledon, you've got the John Deere Classic, and then in 2 weeks you've got the Open Championship. I like betting it. Not my favorite tournament to bet, and honestly, because it's such a shootout. There's a lot of variance, right? Anytime you're going to have a score where 30 under can win, it brings a bunch of guys into play. Whereas the U.S. Open, for example, where it's going to be 4 under is going to win. Shout out to JJ Spawn. I didn't bet him, but there's only a handful of guys, or the Masters. There are only 15 guys who can win the Masters, right? There are 25 guys, and I've got a list in front of me of 22 guys who can win this tournament. So, and including like how about this? There's 6 guys in the field who have won this tournament before. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the John Deere Classic, that's crazy. So it's a pretty high variance week, but I think again, you look at course form, you look at current form, and then you kind of dial it in a little bit, and we can find some value. Especially, I mean, look, Ben Griffin's become like the shitty field DJ. I'm sorry, Scotty, right? The odds are so crazy.
Yeah.
10-point delta between him and Jason Day or whoever's at the next lowest on the board. So yeah, it's an interesting time. Jason Day's 25, Denny McCarthy's 25, Ben Griffin's 16. It's a crazy delta, but the dude's on fire. And just about any model you run, I run about 5 models a week, testing different things. But any model you run, he comes up first. He's by far and away the favorite this week.
So what do we want from a golfer here? My resident golf guy, BK, says that we want driving accuracy. And then I think you need to be a good putter. So I'll stop assuming. I mean, what are we looking for, or what are you looking for in golfers? And then eventually I want to hear what your card is.
Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately, I just did a super simple first grade model. I call it my first grade model. I run it every week. I run a bunch of models, and I'm just like, I can break this down to 2 or 3 things. And I did one. I just birdies are better, and putting. Those two, like, you got to make birdies, right? Because you're going to be 30 under, and you got to make putts. And
so you're not factoring in driving. You're not factoring in
because
iron.
If you're making birdies, you're doing all those things, right?
Oh, fair enough.
That's
okay.
just it. So again, I factored those in a bunch of other models I ran, but just a super simple model: birdies and putting. And if it's interesting. So if you weight those 50-50, birdies and putting, number 1 is Ben Griffin. Number 2 is my favorite first round leader play, and my favorite bomb of this week is Sami Valimaki.
Oh,
So,
love Valimaki. I had him first round leader in a tournament a couple weeks ago. He started out on fire. I was getting DMs left and right, and then he shit his pants on the back 9. But continue.
yes, but he and the thing with Valimaki, he's a lot like Potgieter, right? They kind of look similar. They're both somewhat similar in age. Or he's not as young as Potgieter is, but I mean the difference is as good as Potgieter is driving. Sammy's irons are insane. He's such an insane iron player. When his irons get white hot, and he's a good putter. Like hell, in the Rocket Mortgage, the last 2 rounds, he gained 1.5 and 4 strokes putting the last 2 rounds. So the guy can roll it. When his irons start getting hot, he is a problem. So again, to your point about you had him and he was leading, he's a tremendous first round leader play, or you can play him any round, low round. I think he's a tremendous play. So he's my favorite. That's my tagline here, President Sami Valimaki Fan Club. He is definitely guy I looked at, and I always bet some guys who finish high in my first grade model, just because it's amazing how when you just keep it super simple, sometimes they grade out high. Another guy who's 2, 4, 5th, 6th, Keith Mitchell, another first round leader hero, right? You got to bet Keith Mitchell first round leader. I've done that already this week, so those are 2 guys that are interesting for first round leader plays. And Sammy's 90-1. You got to bet him.
Yeah. Do you care at all? I've always been curious about this because I know some friends of mine that do this, and I've done it as well with the first round leader market. But do you care that Valimaki? I'm looking at the tee times. He's going out at 2:00. Do you look at the weather? Because I've always been told if the wind picks up in the afternoon for the first round leader, you want to try to target guys that go out early. Do you give a shit about that, or clearly not?
Sure. I think it matters if it's going to be very inclement weather, right? If there's going to be a lot of delta between the morning wave and the afternoon wave, or vice versa. Sure, weather matters, but I'm not super worried about it this week.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So what about outrights? Who's your go-to guy?
So, I mean, I'm honestly, I bet Ben Griffin, just because it's still a good price. And my favorite bet of the week is Ben Griffin top 20.
Okay.
He's minus 115 for Ben Griffin top 20 is theft. That is an amazing price. Like, yeah, how about this? He's finished 14th or better in 6 straight events. and he's by far and away the best golfer in this field. So go ahead.
How can the odds-on favorite for a golf tournament be -115 to finish top 20? I feel like it should be like -180.
Well, and all they do is look at his outright price and break it down, right? You're like, okay, if his
Interesting.
outright's this, and here's top 20 is this. So yeah, it's a steal. So if you can find him anywhere, even -120, Ben Griffin top 20, I think is tremendous. And honestly, Denny McCarthy is a really good outright play at 28-1. He's got 3 straight top 10s here. So a guy who can play really well here, and he's finished in the top 20 in 5 of his last 10 events. But again, you talked about putting. Nobody puts better than Denny McCarthy.
Yeah.
So if it comes a putting contest, he's going to hit the fairway. He's going to hit some good wedges. He's going to make some putts. So there are 2 guys I like outrights at top, and I like Kevin Yu. A lot of guys don't really know that much about Kevin Yu. Went to Arizona State, but finally won on tour in the fall when everybody was watching football. He won the Sanderson Farms in the swing season. Dude's won $2 million this year. You got T3 at the Amex, T6 at the RBC Canadian, T4 at the Farmers. Really good driver. And the thing with Kevin Yu is he generally sucks at putting, but he has gained in 2 of his last 4 events putting. So if he can roll the rock, if he gains 2 strokes putting, Kevin Yu is going to win this week. So those are a couple of guys I like. One more is Luke Clanton. Obviously, young stud was was in college. Was actually finished runner-up here last year as an amateur. So, I mean, absolute stud, can bomb the ball. This is a course where if Luke Clanton can shoot 30 under, 35-1 or so. Another guy like this, I'm actually laddering him. I'm playing him top 40, top 30, top 20, top 10, all the way up. I like Luke Clanton a lot.
Luke Clanton's your guy. Okay, I like that. That's kind of what I think I'm going to do, that what I did with Matt Fitzpatrick last week, but I didn't do it with placement so much. I just went a little heavier on a top 20, and it got a little sweaty, but it feels good with golf betting. I'm trying to, again, I'm not doing well in the outright market, so I'm trying to change it up a little bit. So when I go down the leaderboard, what we usually do when we talk golf on Wednesdays is I'll ask whoever I have on a couple of guys that kind of stand out to me. Obviously, I want to hear what your card is. So you just gave us some guys that you like and your favorite plays. But there's always a name. There's always somebody on the odds board that I think is a very random golfer who seems to be getting respect in the odds market. Last week, I think it was Harry Hall was like 30-1. And Harry played some pretty decent golf. I'm looking at the odds board here. I'm just taking a short scroll down, and I see a guy by the name of Pearson Cootie is 35-1. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. What do you know anything about this guy Cootie? Is there a reason that he's 35-1 with?
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's got a brother who plays too. So him and his brother both play.
Okay.
And again, he's another one of these young kids. Just a guy who can go super low. So I think that when you look at these younger guys who can go super low, that's where some of these odds are, because you know it's going to be a shootout. And again, like, does Michael Thorbjornsen scare you? Right, he's the 4th favorite. Does McCarthy at the 3rd favorite scare you? No, and that's why you're going to see some of these odds. You're right, but Cootie I think is a little aggressively priced.
Yes.
But look, I mean, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. The 11th favorite is Jake Knapp. When was the last time you saw that?
Right? I know, yeah. But
that tells you where this field is.
But that's kind of my point. Jake Knapp and Chris Kirk, 2 guys that almost won last week, and I know it's a field of nobodies, but they're 35-1, and they're saying Cootie is the same odds as 2 guys who competed in a golf tournament last week. So that's the one that stood out to me that I thought was kind of random. I like this guy, Bud Cauley. You mentioned Luke Clanton. I like Luke Clanton. He's pretty popular. He's like nobody that I'm saying I discovered necessarily. I feel like Bud Cauley's gotten a little bit more popular, but Bud Cauley and Sam Stevens are 2 guys that I've been on and off of this year. I feel like we've seen them kind of start to become semi-serious golfers. Anything that you could say positive or negative about Bud Cauley this week? Because he might make my card.
I like Bud Cauley. Do you remember that show? If you said this, I'm going to bring it up. Do you remember that show? It was like I think it was on CNBC, and it was about this guy who's like a tout in Vegas. I forget the name of the show, but the guy's name was Steve Stevens. Do you remember this show? Oh, God, if anybody in the chat remembers the show, put it in there. It was
somebody in the chat might.
I forget the name of the show, but it was like they're following this guy who's like runs this tout service in Vegas. I cannot remember but his name is Steve Stevens. And every time I see Sam Stevens, I think Steve Stevens when I see that. No, I like Bud Cauley. And what I'm saying, I'm gonna look at by the way, Pearson Cootie is 2, 4, 6, 8th in my first grade model this week. Now that you mention it,
I'm taking him.
14th in the field in putting, 13th in the field of birdies or better. That's pretty damn good. So
taking him.
There's a case for that. But yeah, no. But the thing with Bud Cauley, he's been super sneaky too. I mean, he's been low key really good. A couple of rounds ago, I remember he had a run. I'm looking up right now. Yeah, he had a run going back to like March. 6th of the Players, 4th of the Valspar, 5th of the Valero. Like 3 straight tournaments where he was top 6 is sick. 3rd of the Charles Schwab. I do like Bud Cauley. His iron's been really, really, really good lately. Not great off the tee, but yeah, I like Bud Cauley. I can make a case for him.
It's called Money Talks, by the way. Somebody
Money
said.
Talks. That's it. That's it. Yes. Yes, Steve Stevens. That is it. That is a very, very entertaining show if you've never seen it. Bud Cauley, number 7 on my card this week in terms of my rankings overall. Bud Cauley comes at number 7.
Okay. It's almost 11, so we're going to wrap it up here pretty soon. And I really appreciate your time, CutMaker Jeff. And then I want to hear where everybody can find you. But I have another guy. And this guy, for whatever reason, my followers know I've been on and off of him for a long time. I found him when I went to the Honda Classic. Well, I don't know that it's called the Honda anymore, but I had Shane Lowry and I followed him and Sung JM. And I believe that's when Shane had the lead. It started raining and fucking your guy, Sepp has treated me very well, came back. And that's when I started to respect Sepp. Sepp came on my radar in the Olympics. Then when he did that, I was like, this guy might be a good golfer. He's the only guy that's treated me well in the past 2 years. But Bezadenhout is down here at 75-1. I had him last year 150-1. It was my worst beat, I think. We've all had bad beats in golf, but I think that was when he finished second to a fucking amateur, Nick Dunlap or something.
Yeah,
this guy was still in college. He couldn't even collect the prize money. He had an unbelievable low round. Seabez, for whatever reason, I like this guy as a golfer. He's 75-1. Where does he grade out in your model? Can he win here?
Do you know his story?
Not really. I know he's South African, and that's pretty much it.
He has a really, really, really bad stuttering problem because he ate rat poison when he was a kid. This is a 100% true story. And it like almost killed him. He's like, when you hear him do an interview, he very seldom talks or he's very measured with his talking. It's really, really interesting story. You should read up on that. I am off CBiz only because his irons are super wonky right now. And so he has been like last week, in the Travelers, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago, he lost 7 strokes on approach with his irons. That is horrid.
Yeah, it's not good.
And he's generally not good off the tee. And so, yeah, he can putt. We know he can putt. That's his strength, putting. And it's 75-1. You know, if I would play him, I'd play him like a first round leader.
Okay.
But he's not a guy. I don't think he has the staying power with how his irons are and how he is off the tee to win this tournament, to be honest with you. Not at 30-1.
All right. So that was my guy.
30 under.
That was one of just my guys that I like to put money on. And even though he fucked me last year, I still would go back to him. But I lied. One more guy I want to ask you about. This one's back up higher towards the odds board here. Siwoo Kim is 33-1. So this was interesting because I haven't heard a lot of Siwoo love this week. But I was just thinking to myself, man, Siwoo seems like a guy who is playing really well, kind of knocking on the door, and he could win kind of one of these slapdick tournaments, you know what I mean, where the field's not that strong. But then I just pulled up his stats. He had a really, really good April to May. He was T8, T15, T17, T8. Then he's kind of fallen off. T42 at the U.S. Open. He withdrew from the Travelers, and he was 84th in the Rocket Classic. Although he did have a decent first 2 rounds of golf. Is this a guy that you think can kind of show up? Because I'm not like saying I'm going to bet him, but he was just somebody that caught my eye.
In a putting contest, do you want a guy who's lost 4 strokes putting 2 tournaments in a row?
No. Okay, that'll do it. Fair enough.
And honestly, quite honestly, too, Jen, I would actually fade him in matchups. So, you know, find guys that he's priced near. I'm probably like a Jason Day, a Smalley, like Ben Griffin, Denny McCarthy, JT Poston. I would pound JT Poston in a matchup against Siwoo. I love JT Poston in that matchup, for example. I would take pretty much anybody comparably priced. Luke Clinton, I would take over Siwoo. Anybody priced around Siwoo, I would take over Siwoo this week.
Okay. All right, great to know. Jeff, where can I'm sharing your Twitter profile right now into the chat. Everybody, if you're on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, there's CutMaker Jeff's Twitter at CutMaker Jeff. Do you do a podcast? You do a
Yeah,
live
so
show?
yeah,
Where
I
can
do
find
a
you?
podcast usually about 2 or 3 times a month. When my schedule varies, but I'll have one certainly for the Open. I did a quick one on John Deere this week, and I just kind of go through my top 20 guys I like. Occasionally, I have guests. I've had actually, I had Sepp Straka's caddy on.
No shit.
Which was really cool before the Masters. Yeah, we have one of my buddies is his college teammate, so I've started talking to him. Super guy, great golfer in his own right. He was Kevin Kisner's caddy for like 12 years, and now he's Sepp Straka's caddy. So he's a great dude. I'll have him on again over time. I had a buddy of mine, Eric Barnes, who played on tour. Had hit him on a couple of times. So yeah, the CutMaker podcast, cutmakerpod.com. I've got a Telegram channel we do. I send out updates on live plays I make and the like. So yeah, it's fun. And again, obviously I'm on VSiN every Tuesday at 5:00. So on Sirius XM, on TV, whatever channel you have locally. But yeah, thanks. It's a lot of fun. If anybody, feel free to hit me up on Twitter, X, whatever, and I'm happy to share thoughts and find some winners, guys. I mean, it's golf season. We got the Open Championship coming up in 2 weeks from tomorrow, and so it's going to be a great time. You watching some golf, FedEx Cup coming up. So yeah, it's going to be a blast finishing up this season.
Well, thanks, man. I really appreciate you coming on, taking the time. And again, you've been a great listen, follow for golf betting and whatnot. But more importantly, we'll be rooting for the Indiana Fever for you to come through. And what did you call it? Brooks Koepka Palooza? I don't know. You're gonna have Caitlin Clark-a-Palooza if that.
It will be 10x. It will be 10x.
Yeah.
If the Fever win, it'll be something else. MIZOU, baby.
Was that the Missouri chant?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got a lot of Ohio State fans in here, so anytime I see OH, I know what's coming. I didn't know Missouri did the same thing. Jeff, good luck this weekend. Thank you again for the time. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.
All right, take it easy. Thank you to Jeff. That was awesome. Good dude. Again, long time listen for me in the golf betting world on VSiN. He does a great job every time he goes on. I shared his Twitter profile. Make sure to go give him a follow. And thank you, Chad. Everybody was, for the most part, pretty well behaved. I saw Primer being a little fuck stick in the beginning. Parlay Patty, you're not subbed. It says you have a subscription badge next to you. And shout out Steak for the 5 sub bangs nice and early. Scatterbrain said, I'm from Chicago. It's supposed to rain on Sunday. And BK said that he thinks Kevin Yu is the winner. BK is also on cue. Yep, Zanman, appreciate it. Just watch BK review. Why did he shave? I don't know. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Paul Mack, W. Jeff. Bro, why am I getting that? I don't know, man. What the fuck do you want me to tell you? Love to see a guest that is not in his car. Yeah, no kidding. I wish my pop was this cool. Yeah, no shit. Is this a true story? He's overcome a lot. Yeah, the Seabez story, I think, sounds like it's true. Somebody I saw on Twitter chat confirmed that's a true story. Crazy. I did not know that about Christian Bezadenhout. But I've always just kind of had I don't know, I guess I haven't a thing for him, but I've just kind of liked betting on him because he's always one of those long shot guys that sometimes when he gets going, I'm like, okay, he can play golf. You know, he's got an interesting backswing, not like Sung Jae's, but he does something a little bit like that. Anyways, speaking of Sung Jae, do we think that he can go low in this tournament? I didn't even really think about it. Well, I'll tell you what, I very much enjoy talking to Jeff, you know, especially with like smart guys who do their own models and everything. I feel like you never know if you're going to get somebody who's a little bit, kind of elitist or stuck up or whatnot. Couldn't be more opposite. Very down to earth. Probably a great dude. I got a phone call coming in right now. Probably a good dude to get a beer with too. Every time you say Seabez, I think you're saying Seablez. Yeah, I know. Anyway, so I do have a hard stop here in about 30 minutes, but I'd love to talk baseball. So let's turn our attention there. I don't know what I'm going to do for my card right now. I'm off Siwoo. I'm taking fucking Pierce Sincuti. Who the fuck is this guy? I'll take him Pierce Sincuti. BK, if you're in here, do approve. I'm taking Bud Cauley. Bud Cauley's my guy. Kurt Kitayama. Do we like Kurt Kitayama? He's a pretty decent golfer. Yeah. Lee Hodges. Nah, I got Lee Hodges fatigue. I'm good. Seabez, I'm out. I don't like what he said about the irons. Tom Kim, 75. Man, Tom Kim's not a serious golfer anymore, is he? It's too bad. Tom Kim and Max Homa. Why are you pronouncing it that way? What are you talking about? Bezadenhout? Is that what I'm saying? Tom Kim? What did I say weird? Wolfie Wesson. Anyways, let's get into, I think the Blue Jays +1.5 and Rangers -1.5. Honestly, do it again. You might be right. Let's look at the board. All right. What do you say about that? Let's look at the board. I'm going to open up Pickett. I unfortunately do not have a green day on my calendar. Jackson Suber is interesting. He played well last week. You're right. He did. I do remember that name now. Jackson Suber, 110-1. Don't hate it, Destiny. Well, good luck if you're betting on the tournament. I'd love to see some people. Quantitative eating, I saw you comment something. You are, I wouldn't say you're the resident golf guy in terms of the stream or in terms of coming on the stream, but you are the resident golf guy in the trenches. And to that, we say thank you. Oh, wait. Why does it say I won money? No, you had 5 bets. You went up $66. That's not right. Is that right? No, that's not right. I didn't cash the fucking, yeah. I lost yesterday. We got a lot of MLB today with the amount of rainouts from yesterday. Oh, shit. Well, guys, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to crank all of them. I do have to end early. I got a very, very corp day. Yesterday was slammed. Today is going to be fucking crazy slammed. I got to go 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and then I have a 5 to 7. So it's going to be a long day. Only 18 games to go through. You're kidding me. Is that really what we have? We have 18 games to go through? Jesus Christ. Well, here's what we can do. All right. We can start by this. I'm going to tell you right now. You want to hear something? I got a fucking POD, but let me go make sure that it's not the fucking spelled weird, but it's just like Pearson. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that, Weston. My bad. Thank you. Pierce. I thought it was Pearson. It's Pearson. I like Ryan Pepiot over pitching outs. Pepiot K's. I don't see it on here. I like Ryan Pepiot over pitching outs. That's what I like. I'll tell you why. First of all, the Rays getting swept by the fucking A's would really, really piss me off. There's no lineup. Shit. There's no lineup. I like Ryan Pepiot over pitching outs. I'll tell you why. If anybody watched the Rays Glaze on the YouTube channel, shout out YouTube chat, by the way. Make sure you're subscribing to the page. And if you're on Twitch, make sure you're following the page. Thank you, guys. But on the Rays Glaze, we talked about the fact that Brian Pepiot had a bad outing last time. And my guy Drew said, Pepiot's a fiery dude. He thinks he's going to bounce back. I agree. I totally agree. I agree so much so that that's what I want my POD to be. Now, I'm not in the position to start off this month with 2-3 unit plays. I'm just not. I want to be smart. I want to fucking win. And I want to get a green calendar, okay? Ryan Pepiot went out. He'd been pitching really, really well. But Ryan Pepiot went out in Baltimore, and he got fucking shellacked. 1 2/3, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 1 K. All right? Before that, he had been rolling. 1 earned run. He went 8 innings, 5 innings. I think against Oakland, he's going to shove. Now, are the Rays going to win? Not saying that. I truly don't know. Also, the A's don't hit him very well. 22 plate appearances. They're batting 150, 31% strikeout rate. I think Ryan Pepiot shoves today. As soon as, does anybody find a line? Can anybody find a line of Ryan Pepiot pitching outs? That's my POD today. And it's the first game of the day. So there you go. If you want to tail responsibly, do so at your own discretion and get whatever fucking line you want to get. I'm not responsible. If I put a fucking bet out there and it's 17.5 minus 110 and you say, oh, DJ, I found 17.5 minus 105. You fucking get it then. Responsible for your fucking CLV. Are you buying into the whole thing about the winner of John Deere Classic coming from who stays in the house with Davis Thomas? It's the first time I'm hearing about it. So the answer to that, Total Slayer, is nah. Get your own CLV. Shit was ridiculous yesterday. Don't even get me fucking started. But I am happy to find a 50-1 on the Diamondbacks. 1 win. Anyways, I'm on Pepiot pitching outs. That's going to be my POD for the day, okay? POD stands for play of the day. If you say things like POD, you're probably going to get your engagement up because the kids go crazy. Woo! When you say shit like POD, okay? All right, that's what everybody loves. Abbreviations, and that's what that is. All right, let's keep moving. We got to move quick. Got to move fucking quick. Where is, hold on. I don't know where my tabs just went. All right, here we go. Next game, we got the St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Played the Cardinals yesterday. Steak and I were up here. Steak said, how funny would it be if Paul Skeens continued not to get run support after the Pirates had just been scoring so many runs? He scored 30 runs in a series against the Mets. Now, we've been doing a good job of not getting cute, but I think it's time to open up the playbook a little bit. I think it's time to run some trick plays and to get a little cute. I do. I really do. Because we had the right read on that. We wanted to fade the Pirates offense. But what did? We took the fucking Cardinals on the money line. Cardinals could not get any runs in. The Cardinals lost 1-0. That totally sucked. So, totals at 8. Sonny Gray's going. He's minus 118. I bet you today is probably the Cardinals, but I'm good. I have no interest in going back. I have no interest in fading the Pirates. They're playing really good baseball. I'm going to let them be. But I think it's the Cardinals today. And I think it's probably Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray strikeouts. Yeah, I'm with you. Okay. I said yesterday I thought it was the Washington Nationals. I still think it's the Washington Nationals, but I'm not going to be that guy. Ty and Run missed the fucking plate when he slid home, dude. I heard about that. Yeah, I heard because I was watching on MLB.com. I was following it while I just ate dinner or something. I had the Rays game on the TV and I have fucking MLB.com and they're like taking forever. And I'm like, oh no, they're challenging it. And Steak, I was texting him and he said he was watching live. He's like, missed it by an inch. I was like, fuck. Anyways, I'm not getting involved betting on or fading the Tigers. I'm just not. But I think that line looks short. I just do. So short lines have been paying. Although I don't think the Rockies came through yesterday. That was a short one. Make a bell. I like the over in the Phillies game a lot yesterday. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to play it. I get thrown off a little bit when there's a postponement and a rain delay. So I'm just going to pass on this one. Nick Pavetta's going. The total's very high for a game with Nick Pavetta, but the total was high with Zach Wheeler too, So I'm good on that. This is going to be an interesting game. I don't know how the Mets are going to come out and respond. I really don't. How are the Mets going to respond? You got the red hot fucking Brewers coming in here, 8-2 in their last 10. You got the slumping Mets. Could be a big series for them. Rockies covered with the 9th. Oh, that's tough. I think Steak took the money line on that. Damn, that sucks. Did not come through, but the Rockies plus 1.5 did. That's hilarious. Yeah, I'm going to stay off on this game, guys. This is just going to be a wait and see. You don't have to bet every game. All right. You don't have to bet every game. Be smart, bet responsibly. Okay. But there's a lot of baseball out there. If you want to bet the Mets to get right against the Brewers, good on you. If you want to just lean into the Brewers staying hot and the Mets not, totally respect it. Kind of think the Mets can lose both games today. Wow. Red Sox, Dick Fitz is now minus 120 after getting postponed yesterday. That's a lot of fucking respect. A lot of respect. Isn't that a lot of respect? I think it's the Red Sox. I would take the Brewers until. Yeah. Zach, I got no beef with that, dude. I got no beef with that. The Mets are actually winning a game. Zero issue with that. Zero issue. I'm just also one of those guys that's not like a huge believer in the Brewers. So like if they were to start to cool off, it would, like I could see that, Anyways, like the Red Sox there. Chris Sanchez, this is a doubleheader here. I got nothing in this game. I'm done thinking Cease is a good pitcher. So that probably means he shoves today. Don't fade the fucking Marlins. Don't fade the Marlins. You hear me? Don't fade them. Cool team. Simeon Woods Richardson, total 8.5. I could see some runs here. How's Jansen? I like this Jansen junk guy. I mean, I like the name. I'll be honest with you. It's mainly about the name. Not a lot of pitcher familiarity here. How about that fucking Nerfy yesterday and doubling down with Byron Buxton strikeout? Let's go. Be funny if Byron Buxton home run today, first AB. Yesterday was a strikeout. Today's the home run. Be kind of funny, wouldn't it? Should I put $20 on it? Maybe I fucking will. Oh, got it. Thank you, Paul Mack. I appreciate that. Thank you. Kind of like the over. Low scoring game yesterday, 2-0. Kind of like the over. The Marlins bats are pesky. I think they're probably going to give Woods Richardson a problem. I could see this game going over. What did Junk just do, guys? I know that he pitched in San Francisco, but I think he got hit up, right? Yeah, 3 2/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs. Yeah. Okay. All right. Detroit and Washington's doubleheader there. Will Warren going against Jose Barrios. I'm leaving the Blue Jays alone. I really am. Total 8.5. Yesterday, the Blue Jays came through. Yankees are spiraling a little bit, 5-5 in their last 10. I want nothing to do with fading the Blue Jays. I'm out. Sorry, I don't really have anything great for you guys. I apologize. Kind of boring here, but I'm just giving it to, I'm telling you like it is. I'm not forcing anything, you know? I know I'm a fucking meme capper and not taken seriously and, get made fun of for CLV all the time. It is what it is, but I wish I could force a fucking 6-leg parlay and try to get some engagement. I just don't have anything. Boston minus 138 against Nick Martinez, 9.5. I got nothing there. We don't know who's pitching for Boston. Mizorowski's going to be going for Milwaukee in game 2. That should be fun. That should be real fun. Man, I should go to that game, shouldn't I? Oof, that's a fun game right there. Atlanta, Didier Fuentes against Kikuchi. I mean, Braves are in shambles, bro. Braves are in shambles. Shout out to anybody who had the balls to just say, fuck the Braves and played the fucking Angels last night, whether you played +1.5 or money line. Good for you. Like that's what I love. As much as I like to overthink and look into things and dig and try to get clever and creative, sometimes it works. A lot of times it doesn't. I really appreciate and respect people who just don't overthink it. Like the Braves are shit. They don't deserve to be minus 200 against anybody. I don't give a fuck about the Angels. I'm just taking them. And you push the plus price and they win because the Braves are shit. It had nothing to do with the Angels. The Braves are shit. Good on you. That's good gambling. And nice win if anybody played the Angels yesterday. I don't know what to do here. I really don't. I tried to play this under yesterday. I'm such a fucking idiot, My three plays were going to be, my third play was going to be the over in the Phillies game, and that got postponed. So I wanted 3 plays. I had the Nerfy in the Marlins game. I had the Cardinals, and I wanted a third play because I wanted to go 2 or 1 or better. I was stupid for forcing it, and I was looking at this line, and I was like, there's a lot of runs the day before. DeGrom's going. I really think DeGrom's going to pitch well. And you know what? I'm just going to fade the Rangers offense. I know the Orioles bullpen sucks. I know that guy pitching sucked. I played the under. Shit wager. Stupid fucking bet. Stupid bet. Shit wager. That was so stupid. Got nothing here, though. Today's probably the under. Today's probably the 3-2 game. Zagano's a respectable pitcher. Eovaldi's a good pitcher. I think both guys can do well. Shota Imanaga, I got no interest. I got negative interest in fading the Cubs. And I love Shota. Shota's my guy. I took him to win the Cy Young. He's not going to win the Cy Young, but I like him. Gomber and Brown, I'm out. Out on anything in that game. D-backs, Merrill Kelly. D-backs won yesterday. You know what? I say fade the fucking Giants. Seriously, fade the Giants. Just lay it with the fucking whoever's playing the Giants. The Giants are in shambles right now, 3-7 in their last 10. The Royals and the Mariners. So this is an interesting game. It's an interesting game because the Kansas City Royals woke up yesterday. They did. They woke up. They won 6-3. How did this game play out? Kansas City got on them early. They had 10 hits. A lot of activities, active bats yesterday, 10 hits, 7 hits, 17 hits combined, 9 runs. I like Logan Gilbert, but that 170 favorite has been scary. The 170 favorites have been scary. They're not coming through as much. That 170, the Rays were just minus 165, minus 170 of the when they lost the other day with Rasmussen. I'm out. Don't like the Mariners here. Nick Cameron going. This could probably be a don't overthink it under, And the Dodgers and the White Sox, nothing. All right, my POD is at 12 o'clock, guys. I'm going to see if I can get it in. I like Ryan Pepe at pitching outs. That's my play of the day. I'm going to get it in. I'm going to shut it down. I got to get out there into the fucking corp world. We'll have a stream tomorrow. We'll have a happy hour tomorrow on the Pickett YouTube channel. Download Pickett. Use our promo code DJ, and you get $3 when you do. Follow us. All our wagers are on there. Everything's tracked. Ooh, you're not transparent. Fuck off. All right. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for CutMaker Jeff for coming on and making the time. Good luck this weekend. Start the day off with both Nerfies. That sounds kind of fun. Yeah, that would be fun. Good luck. I'm going to be, let's see. I'm going to be here tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. and we'll go from there. All right, guys. Have a great day. Good luck on all your wagers. Peace.